Welcome back, guys, to another Friday Gamer Log. As usual, I'll be talking about the games that I've been playing, games that will be coming up here in the direct future for YouTube, and any games I would like to buy or have bought. So, without further ado, let's get this thing started. Alright, as far as Animal Crossing City Folk is concerned, I got a visit from Sahara the Camel. She asked me to collect some old wallpapers for her. And I did that. After I collected 3 of them, I turned them in to her, and she gave me the Desert Vista wallpaper, which I'm not too impressed by, but hey, I didn't have it yet. I also gave it to my friend Seth so that he could get it in his catalog. I also got a new painting from Crazy Red for the museum, the Worm painting, which is really nice. This takes me down to just needing 3 more paintings before I'll have the museum 100%ed, of course. I also got another visit from Pascal, and unlike last time, I was actually prepared for him this time. Before I seen him right here, I collected up some scalloped seashells and stored them in the closet at my house. That way, whenever I do see Pascal, I can just give him a seashell. I don't have to go searching around forever. But whatever the case, I gave Pascal a scalloped seashell, and he gave me a ship part. It was one that I already had. He gave me the ship compass, but I still was able to sell it for a little bit of extra cash, so it wasn't all bad. I also did a little bit of Animal Crossing City Folk with my friend Seth. We worked together to get him some of the bugs that he didn't have. He just recently caught a bee, which was one of the only bugs that I couldn't help him get because you can't shake beehives out of trees if you're playing with a friend over Wi-Fi. So I loaned him my golden net, and he went to his town and shook one tree, and a beehive came out of it. He failed to catch a bee from that beehive, but he got a bee out of the second beehive that he found. After he got the bee, he came back to my town and dropped off the golden net and then went back to his town. After he went back to his town, Wi-Fi froze up on my end, which forced me to reset the game, and whenever I came back to the game, my golden net was gone because it hadn't saved. So the game screwed me out of my golden net. Which really sucks because you only get one of them in the entire game, for crying out loud. You only get one of them, and that's after you collected one of every kind of bug and donated them to the museum, so I can't get another one, so the game really screwed me over there. As far as Mega Man X Command Mission is concerned, I mostly just did a little bit of leveling up. I was actually fighting a whole bunch of gigantic Mets in the mine area. I was doing it so that I could get an ingredient for a force metal that I wanted to make, but it turned out that I got to the levels that I wanted to before I even got that ingredient. Which is okay, I suppose. The gigantic Mets gave me some pretty good experience. 4,000 after each one was destroyed. But they could also run away, so I had to make sure to destroy them really quickly. I just leveled up mostly until every character was at least level 40. I feel like I'm good enough to take on the final chapter now. Once every character was level 40, I went ahead and teleported back to the Hunter base, or the central tower. Once I got there, I healed up at the bed where Cinnamon and Professor Godeel was located. Then after that, I just went ahead and saved and quit. I deployed some more units. I brought some more back from the Melda ore plant, and turns out that I can't do any more deployments now. I've gotten every one of the items in every one of the areas, so there's no point in deploying any more units from here on out. I'm just glad that all of them managed to get to their max levels, all the deployed units and whatnot. So that's really good. As far as Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels is concerned, I completed yet another run of it, this time using Luigi, of course. And so I got myself my 6 star. I used the 1-up trick, of course. I think from here on out now, I'm probably going to use warps to help me collect the stars a little bit quicker. I'm mostly wanting to do that now because I've already seen all of World 9. But once I've gotten all the stars, I'll probably do complete full runs of the game whenever I feel like playing it. Right now, though, I want to get all 24 stars, and it's taken a bit too long if I do all the levels. So using warps will help speed up the process a little bit. So I think from here on out, I'm going to be using warp zones for each of my runs of Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels. Whatever the case, though, we now got 6 stars in that. We are 1/4 of the way there. As far as Final Fantasy IV The After Years is concerned, I've made a little bit more progress. I did some more work in Cain and Sidor's challenge dungeon. I got the diamond armor for Sid out of the second treasure loop now. And from this run that you're seeing right here, I got the diamond helmet, which of course I put on Sid as well. I still have quite a bit more work left to do here in the challenge dungeons, though, since I still have a whole nother loop of the treasure to go through after this so that I can get all the diamond stuff for Cain as well. But we'll get it all eventually. As far as the Mind Flayer summon hunting in Luigis chapter is going, still not going too good. Like I said in previous gamer logs, it's just a really rare drop that's going to take a long time to get. But I'm not going to give up getting it. We will get it whenever we get it. We'll get it eventually. As far as the run of Super Mario RPG is concerned, I made a little bit more progress in that. I entered the Kiro sewers, and I went through that a little ways, which is, this is like a big maze-type area with a bunch of pipes and stuff that you gotta go through. I didn't quite remember my way through since it's been so long. I did remember most of it, but I did see some treasure that looked like I could get it, but I guess I have to come back later on for it. Whatever the case, so I made my ways in here, then drained the water and went down this pipe. Then I progressed just a little bit further ahead. That's whenever I found a creature called Bellum, which Mallow said that his grandpa had warned him to stay away from Bellum, or to watch out for him anyway. Throughout this fight, Bellum actually ate Mallow, and I had to make him spit him back out, which happens every time, of course. Once I defeated Bellum, a big flood came. Bellum warned us about it, but at first Mallow didn't believe him. But right after the battle ended, the wall that you see right behind the switch rose, and then they started hearing water. Mallow said to step on the switch, but of course Mario didn't listen, and he tried to grab the gate. Mallow stepped on the switch, but for whatever reason he came right back off. I guess he wasn't heavy enough to hold the switch down or something. Heck, I don't know. Whatever the case, though, the flood washed us out of there. Then we had the River Rapids minigame. I got a few frog coins while doing this. I didn't do very good at the barrel race section of this minigame, though. I always stayed on the left side, and that was just a big mistake. Whatever the case, though, after I got done with the minigame, I wound up at Tadpole Pond, and after proving that I'm Mario, the tadpoles made a bridge for me. After going across the bridge, I started talking to Mallow's grandpa. After a bit of dialogue, Mallow's grandpa revealed to him that he's not a tadpole, like dun 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 and stuff. And Mallow's grandpa pretty much told him his backstory and everything from whenever he was a baby. And after all that was done, I gave Frog Fuchsius, Mallow's grandpa, the cricket pie that we picked up for him in Mushroom Kingdom. That's why Mallow had to go there in the first place. After I gave them the cricket pie, he gave us Mallow's first weapon in the game, the Froggy Stick, which is just a little staff that he can hit enemies with, of course. After I got done doing that, I visited the music composer and made the first song of the game. I don't really remember many of the songs and how they're supposed to go, but I'll get to them whenever I get to them. I only really remembered the first one because I always remembered as Salami, Rado, Ray, or something like that. That's just how I always remembered it, is that the first part always sounded like Salami to me. But I found that one out really easily, and I got the Alto card for it. And I went ahead and saved and quit right after that. As far as the run of Metroid 2 for the original Game Boy is going, I made a little bit more progress and found another missile expansion. And right after that, like just a few minutes after that, I came across this Alpha Metroid, which fought me in a really narrow hallway, which made for little room to maneuver around it, so it got a few hits in on me. Right after that, I made my way to the left of there and found yet another missile expansion. Then I made my way back to the right and up a large pipe-type area, which is whenever I came to the next big item of the game. And after bombing through these weird pink orb-type things, crystals, whatever they are, I got our next big item of the game, which just so happens to be the Various Suit. I feel like Samus moves faster now that I have the Various Suit. I could be wrong about that, but it just feels like she runs a little bit faster with it on. I'm not sure if she does or not, though. After I got the Various Suit, I made my way to this area, and I went to the right, which is whenever I came up to my first of the Beta Metroids. I think that's what they're called anyway. They take twice as many missiles to destroy, and they can block your shots, which makes them a little bit harder, but they're still not too bad. They're only really difficult if they put you in really narrow areas where you can't really get around them. After I destroyed that Beta Metroid, I came back to the path split and headed to the left, which is whenever I came across another Alpha Metroid. I figured that I was completely done with the Alpha Metroids after I found my first of the Beta Metroids, but hey, I'm not complaining. The Alpha Metroids are easier to take out anyway. After I destroyed that Alpha Metroid, I made my way a little deeper into the planet, of course, which is whenever I found another Alpha Metroid, which, again, went out really easily. And after taking out this Alpha Metroid, I continued my progress through the planet just a little bit more, which is whenever I came up to this hallway with a lot of sand-looking stuff, and I encountered a Beta Metroid here in this little hallway. This is the hardest Beta Metroid that I fought so far, but even it wasn't too bad. The narrow hallway kind of worked against it as well, but still, it went out fairly easily. Then, once I destroyed this Beta Metroid, I went to the left just a little bit more to the screen just one screen over, I mean. Once I got there, there was a health recharge for me, which was nice, since I had lost an energy tank. And once I got that health recharge, the area started rumbling and shaking, signaling that I could move deeper into the planet now. And I went ahead and saved and quit after that. As far as the run of Luigi's Mansion is going, I went ahead and came to our next closed door that we couldn't get through without our next special key. And I made my way through there into like a backyard sort of area. In that area, I managed to find Mario's letter after taking out some ghosts. And I noticed that there's a well nearby, so I went ahead and went down that well, which is whenever I started up a little cutscene here, as you see. In this little cutscene, we see Mario inside of a portrait yelling to get him out of there, which is kind of cool. I didn't really expect to see Mario until the end of the game. It looks more like Mario's behind glass than inside of a portrait right there. Whatever, though. We got another glimpse of King Boo as well in this cutscene, kind of laughing at Mario over there. But I went ahead and climbed back out of the well after that, and I made my ways a little deeper into the mansion. That's whenever I came up to the bodybuilding ghost, which the way how I had to make him reveal his heart was by knocking the sandbags into him, which was kind of hilarious. I liked that. It kind of cracked me up. But I took out the bodybuilding ghost without too much of a problem. Went down fairly easy. After that, I continued my ways deeper into the mansion, which was whenever I got to this room. I took out all the ghosts and a treasure chest appeared on the table. I didn't quite know how to get there at first until I accidentally walked onto a little anti-gravity panel. Then I knew exactly how to get to it. And after I opened up the treasure chest, I got yet another elemental medallion. I got the ice medallion, which kind of threw me off. I was expecting to get a thunder medallion or something like that. Whatever though, still cool to have multiple elements. After that, I made my ways a little deeper into the mansion, which was whenever I came up to the Grandma Ghost, who, of course, went out easy, just like all the other ghosts. And after I got done with her, I made my way to the bathroom, which is whenever I came up to this ghost here, who, just like the bodybuilder and the Grandma, went down without too much trouble. Right after I took out the ghost in the bathroom, I made more progress into the mansion, which was whenever I came up to this room right here. Inside of this room, there's a telescope, which, after looking through the telescope, it zoomed in on this right here. Right after it did that, it made like an opening in the wall or something like that. Then I walked over there and I seen some shooting stars, or whatever was falling anyway. It was kind of weird. I sucked up the little shooting star type things, and then I shot out into the distance. And after I hit that in the background, it exploded and created a path which led me to the next of Mario's items, the star, the Mario star. Which, speaking of which, I found out earlier, right before I went into the well, I found a Toad hiding in a shack, and he told me that Mario was missing all of these items. So I knew what to expect, and I wound up finding Mario's star. I always thought that Mario's star was kind of an odd Mario item. But whatever, I guess they had to come up with something. Whatever the case, so I got Mario's star, then made a little bit more progress. That's whenever I found this guy that was playing pool by himself. And I took him out just as easy as I took out the bodybuilder, the Grandma, and the bathroom ghost. And after I took him out, I made just a little bit more progress to the projection room. Which, after taking out all the ghosts in there, it turned the lights on and made this treasure chest appear. And after opening up the treasure chest, I got another one of Mario's items, the Mario glove. It says it's a little sweaty, kind of gross. Whatever the case, though, after that I made my ways upstairs to the twins' room. And they wanted to play hide-and-go-seek, which took me a little while before I actually found both of them in the boxes. I kept finding one of them, and then the other one I'd guessed wrong. But after I found both of them in their little boxes, they called me a cheater. Then they started attacking me on their airplane and their little race car, or whatever it is. Pretty much I just had to take away their toys, then they revealed their heart, and I managed to take out the twins fairly easily. I kind of like the idea of having two of the portrait ghosts attacking you at once. That was a really fun battle. I enjoyed it. But they went out without too much trouble or anything. They did get the last laugh, though, as their little shrinking mushroom hit me after I defeated them, and I couldn't do anything about it. Whatever the case, though, after the mushroom wore off, I opened up the treasure chest, which is whenever I got the final of Mario's items, Mario's shoe. After I got Mario's shoe, I took it to the fortune teller. I knew that I'd have to fight the fortune teller eventually. She told me to let her rest in peace inside of her portrait, so of course the fight ensued, and I took her out just as easily as I did all the other portrait ghosts. Even though all the portrait ghosts are really easy to take out, they're also really fun to fight. Once I got done taking her out, I made my way to the upper part of the mansion, which was whenever I came up to this group of boos that was circling around each other, and they decided to fuse together, and that made the next big boss of the game. I thought that this was probably the most difficult battle I've had so far, which is to be expected, you know, considering the bosses are supposed to get more difficult. But like I said, all the boos fused together and made one gigantic boo. And what I had to do in this boss battle was I had to pull the gigantic boo to one of the two ice statues on the sides of the arena. After I pulled the gigantic boo to the ice statue, it split the boo up into several smaller boos. Then from there I had to suck in the smaller boos. You can also freeze them if you want. If you have your ice elemental powered up, you can freeze the smaller boos and then suck them up. Makes things a little bit easier. What I really liked about this boss battle was that it actually counted towards your overall boo count for the 50 boos that you're supposed to get. After I'd finished off this boss battle, I had 39 out of 50 boos. I feel like I missed one boo as I went through this particular part of the mansion, but maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I still plan to get them all either way. After I defeated the gigantic boo boss, another treasure chest appeared, which after opening it up, I got the next big important key of the mansion that lets me go deeper into it. So that's nice. Before I went deeper into the mansion, though, I had to return to Professor Egad's lab, which is whenever I emptied out my vacuum and turned a lot of those ghosts back into portraits. And so, yeah, I caught quite a few ghosts. I caught 7 of them total throughout this area, which put me at 16 out of 21 ghosts. I don't have too much further left to go. I'm pretty sure I only have one more area of the mansion to finish. I have 11 boos and 5 more portrait ghosts. And like I've said before, I'm not too worried about money. I'm not really making it a big deal to get money, but hey, if I collect a lot, then that's good. And as I said before, I've got quite a few of the boos now. Outside of the boos that I got from defeating the boss of this area, I also collected some that were hidden in the rooms and whatnot. The boos are starting to get a little more difficult to take out now because they have more health. They can escape me more easily. So I had to actually chase after boos and go looking in different rooms for them as I made my way throughout this part of the mansion. Which was kind of fun to go hunting for them and everything. Made things a little more interesting, I suppose. But they still weren't too bad. They were fairly easy to take out. The only reason why they were able to escape me was because they had more health. But overall, they're still not too bad. And like I said, I currently have 39 out of 50 boos. So not too much further left to go from here. I decided to do a little bit of retro gaming this past week. I picked up and went through Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers for the NES. I always really loved this game as a kid. It's one of my favorite games. It's a really fun pick it up and play sort of game. And if you have somebody to play through this with, it makes it even more fun because this plays in the style of like New Super Mario Bros. Wii, where you're all playing at the exact same time, which makes it even funner because you're not just sitting there taking turns. You can actually play together, and you can screw around with your partner if you want to. And it's not a real difficult game or anything. It's just a pick it up and play sort of game. So if you want to do some retro gaming and you're a fan of platformers, I'd recommend picking this up, especially if you have somebody to play it with. It's a really good game, and it has really good music in my opinion. The music that plays in this stage is one of my favorites in the entire game. I also just recently started watching Disney's Chip and Dale cartoon. I only really got to see like 2 episodes on a VHS tape that I rented as a kid, so I'm going through them and watching them now. I just finished off the first season, which is kind of fun to see where the bosses of this game came from in the TV show and whatnot. There are a couple of stage enemies that I thought were just made up for the game, but they were actually from the TV show, like the enemies that will transform into Chip or Dale. After I took out Zone G, I rescued Gadget, who got captured by Fat Cat, and after I rescued Gadget, she let me use her rocket to fly to the last 3 zones, H, I, and J, which of course I made a little bit more progress from there. I was wondering if this rocket maybe came from the TV show as well, because there's one episode where they used a rocket to rescue Chip and Dale from outer space, but it doesn't look like that same rocket. Maybe they were just referencing the episode or something, heck, I don't know. Whatever the case, though, I made more progress through the game and wiped out the last 3 zones. Once I got to Fat Cat, I died against him, but I made my way back to him with pretty good health, and I wound up taking him out. Like I said, this is a really fun game, and I look forward to watching more on the TV show as well to see if I can find out where some of these other stage enemies and stuff came from. It's a really fun game, and I really enjoy it. Like I said, if you're in the mood for some retro gaming and you're a fan of platformers and you have somebody to play with, pick up Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers for the NES. It's a really great game, and I really don't think that you'll be disappointed. It's just a really fun game overall. Like I said, it's just a pick it up and play sort of game. It's not really super difficult, but it's also not that easy either. And if you watched a lot of the TV show, it'll be nice for you to see some of the characters from that show as stage enemies and bosses and whatnot. But yeah, like I said, overall, this is a really great game and definitely one of my favorites. One of my favorite things is the music about the game, as I said before. I like the 8-bit version of the title theme. That's one thing that I always liked about the TV show. It had a really catchy title theme. Your main weapon throughout this game is like apples and crates, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, like I said, really fun game, and if you're ever in the mood for retro gaming and you got somebody to play with, do some Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. You'll like it, I'm very sure. It's a really, really good game. Even in one player, you can pick between Chip or Dale to play as. I always pick to play as Chip because I think that his outfit looks a little bit cooler. I also did a little bit of Mega Man 10. I went through Mega Man 10 as Proto Man. I always liked Mega Man 10. I always felt like Mega Man 10 had a lot of replayability to it because it has multiple difficulties and a lot of characters to pick from, as well as additional modes like Endless Attack and the special stages and stuff like that. It even has its own challenge mode as opposed to unlocking all your challenges in the game. I went ahead and started up the game and made my way through the 8 Robot Master stages. And of course, after going through the 8 Robot Master stages, I went through the Fortress stages. After I completed the first of the 5 Fortress stages in this game, a little cutscene happened where Proto Man was sick, but Mega Man had some medicine to give him, so it was all good. I really like the music that plays in the second Dr. Wily stage. Really good song. One of my very favorite Fortress tunes right here. And I also really like how they put all the mini-bosses here in the second Dr. Wily stage. But whatever the case, so I made my way through all the Wily stages and defeated Wily. Which, of course, I checked out the ending after that. Mega Man 10 probably has one of my least favorite endings in the entire classic series. It just feels like it's way out of Dr. Wily's character. Because Dr. Wily gets taken to the hospital, then after some time in the hospital he escapes, but he leaves like a lifetime supply of medicine to heal robots with. Really doesn't seem like him to leave medicine for the robots, in my opinion. I mean, I understand like doing something nice for the people that did something nice for you, but that's not like in Wily's character at all, in my opinion. I don't really think that Wily would actually care to leave anything behind for the robots that he caused harm to. I think that he'd pretty much be like, screw you guys, I'm out of here. Whatever though, Mega Man 10 is still a really great game. I also like the Weapons Archives boss that's in the first Dr. Wily stage. Another really good boss right there. But like I said, Mega Man 10 has a lot of replayability to it, and it's overall a really good Mega Man game, as are all the Mega Man Classic games, of course. So yeah, I also did a little bit more gaming with my friend Seth. We did a little bit of Excite Bike. We're working our way towards getting our next bike at 250 points. We're like in the 230 point range now, I believe, so we don't have too much further left to go. It takes us a little while to get our points built up because we can only earn at least 2 or at most 2 points after each match. Whoever wins each race, first place will get 2 points, and whoever lost that race will only get 1. So it's taken us a really long time to earn up all the points we need to get our new bikes and everything, but we'll get them all eventually. I also did a little bit of Mario Kart Wii with Seth and his wife Kaylee. Me and Kaylee did a few races, just me and her. But that was a lot of fun. I accidentally picked the wrong bike right here that I was using with Mario. I picked the Zip, but I'm actually used to using the Mach bike. I said in previous gamer logs that I was still trying to find out whether I like the blooper cart more or the cheap cart. I think that I actually like the cheap cart more, but I probably will use the blooper one more often because it's in my weight range, the medium class. Whatever the case though, they're both good bikes, As far as video game purchases is concerned, I just recently picked up Endless Ocean for the Nintendo Wii. The main reason why I got this game is so that me and my friend Seth can have another game to play because we both live in different states, and we mostly use our Wiis to play games back and forth over Wi-Fi, so this gives us another game to play. He's been wanting me to get it and try it out for a long time now, so I figured why not. I found it pretty cheap and I went ahead and picked it up, and I look forward to starting and seeing how I enjoy this game. Looks like it might be kind of fun. Alright, time for the question of the week. This week's question of the week is for all you Metroid fans out there. The question of the week this week is, what is your favorite Metroid game? Is it the first one for the NES, Metroid 2 for the original Game Boy? Do you like Super Metroid the most? What about the Game Boy Advance games? Do you like the Prime games the most? So yeah, what is your favorite Metroid? And don't forget that if you'd like to submit your own question of the week, feel free to do so. Just remember to do it through a PM and not a comment. Questions submitted through a comment won't be included in next Friday's Gamerlog, so make sure that you send your question to me via a personal message. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been up to this week. I practiced a little bit in Super Mario Kart on the time trials to get used to the special stages, but I still haven't had much luck whenever I'm trying to actually race. I get pushed around a lot, and I'm just trying to do better. Trying to learn different techniques to help me pass that special cup and everything. I'll get it down eventually, though, and we'll complete that and move on to 150cc, which I look forward to. Other than that, though, we've made quite a bit of good progress through all the other games that we've been playing this week, and I really look forward to getting Endless Ocean and starting up some of that. Hopefully, I'll get it this coming week, and I can play it with my friend Seth, and I can report some of that back to you. I'll let you know what I think about it. Whatever the case, though, that is it for this Friday's Gamerlog, and I'll see you guys next Friday. Thank you for watching.